3 billion people, one algorithm. And the man who built the cage calls it connection. This is the real Mark Zuckerberg. He was 19 years old, a Harvard sophomore with a hoodie and a grudge. And he looked two brothers in the eye, shook their hands, then stabbed them in the back. The Winklevoss twins had the idea. A social network for the elite. They trusted Zuckerberg to code it. He took their specs, their contacts, their vision, then launched the Facebook.com while they were still waiting for his email. Lawsuits came fast. Settlements were cheap. He kept the company. That was the first kill. By 2018, the mask slipped again. Cambridge Analytica. 87 million profiles harvested in secret. Not stolen by hackers, handed over by Facebook itself. Used to rig elections, poison minds, and swing votes across continents. Zuckerberg knew for years. His executives knew. They buried the breach, lied to regulators, then watched the money roll in while democracy burned. But here's what they didn't report loud enough. While Cambridge Analytica was exploding in the headlines, Zuckerberg was quietly selling his own Facebook shares. At least $1 billion dumped before the stock crashed. He knew what was coming. He got out first. Then he sat in front of Congress and apologized. Congress dragged him in. Cameras rolling. He blinked, sweated, and gave the same robotic apology he's rehearsed a dozen times. No one went to jail. No one lost power. The FTC fined Facebook $5 billion, and the board engineered the settlement specifically to shield Zuckerberg from personal liability. Then paid $190 million more in 2025 to make the investor lawsuits disappear. For Meta, that's not a punishment. That's a rounding error. That's a rounding error. The data machine just got bigger, hungrier, and more dangerous. Because competition was rising, Instagram was eating Facebook's lunch. Young users fleeing to something cleaner, faster, real. Zuckerberg didn't compete. He wrote a check. $1 billion in 2012. Instagram wasn't bought to grow. It was bought to die as a rival. 2 years later, he struck again. WhatsApp. $19 billion. Privacy was the threat. End-to-end encryption meant he couldn't see inside. So he bought it, broke the promise, and swallowed the users whole. No more competitors. No more escape. Just Zuckerberg's web tightening around every conversation, every photo, every heartbeat. Then came the rebrand. 2021. Facebook died on paper. Meta was born. He poured hundreds of billions into the metaverse, a digital paradise that turned into a $47 billion ghost town. Users hated it. Investors fled. The stock cratered 70%. But Zuckerberg didn't blink, because this wasn't about fun. This was about owning the next internet. Then came February 2026, a Los Angeles courtroom. Zuckerberg on the stand. Hundreds of families suing Meta for deliberately designing Instagram to be addictive to children. A mother stood outside the court. Her daughter had bought drugs from someone on Instagram and never came home. Inside, lawyers unspooled a 35-foot collage of a young girl's Instagram posts. Zuckerberg sat there and said Meta doesn't design for addiction. But the internal documents said something different. The algorithm was engineered to maximize time on screen. Outrage keeps people scrolling. Insecurity keeps teenagers coming back. They knew. They kept the algorithm anyway. Congress called him back. Again. And again. Same playbook. Same smirk behind the apology. This isn't the founder protecting his creation. This is a man who realized the product was never the app. The product was you. And then in 2025, Trump threatened him with life in prison for election interference. Zuckerberg flew to Mar-a-Lago, donated $1 million to the inauguration, killed the fact-checking program overnight, flooded Facebook and Instagram with unfiltered misinformation, and called it free expression. It wasn't principle, it was survival. He traded the truth for protection, and Meta handed over user data to the Department of Homeland Security to identify activists opposing mass deportations. 3 billion users, 0 consent. Your attention, your data, your fears, your desires, your mind. He doesn't want to connect the world. He wants to own the operating system of human thought. We fed him every scroll, every like, every angry comment. Every minute we surrendered, we gave him the keys, voluntarily, while he smiled for the cameras and pretended to be the awkward nerd next door. The dark history isn't ancient history. It's right now, and it's accelerating. Artificial intelligence, facial recognition, emotion detection, all feeding the same beast. Every new feature is another chain. Mark Zuckerberg didn't just steal an idea from the Winklevoss twins. He stole the architecture of modern life. He turned friendship into surveillance, connection into addiction, privacy into a relic. And the worst part? You still haven't logged off. Billions still open the app every single day, feeding the machine that knows them better than their own families. The only question left is how much of your mind is already his, and whether you'll take it back before the cage door locks forever. Because this isn't just the story of one man in a hoodie. This is the story of how freedom was traded for likes, and how one calculated predator bought the keys to the human soul. And like any story still unfolding, there is no clear ending yet, but it has already begun. This is dark history.